Hello YouTubers. We're down at Devon Cliff in a Haven adapted caravan, primarily for people with mobility issues and other disabilities. And I'm going to do a quick video to show you what adaptations have been that have been made to give you an idea of whether it will be suitable for you. And personally, I'm a double amputee. I use a manual wheelchair, and I've also got my Pride Go-Go scooter down here, which we'll see later. I'm not doing a critique of Haven in general. This is purely to show you how they've adapted the caravan and whether it will be suitable for your needs. In terms of what you're getting from Haven, I mean, I have to say the caravan is very nice and it's very clean. It is what it is, but you know, see for yourself. Let's take a quick tour round, starting with the living room. And what we have is we have the front door over there, which we'll have a closer look at later. It doesn't look very wide on camera, but believe you me, it is. As we come in, we're straight into the lounge area, which they've put laminate flooring down. Now, the great thing about that is, one, it's easy to get a wheelchair and a scooter over it, but also if you come in on a rainy day or you've gone over grass, you don't have that worry of making track marks on the carpet. The whole of the lounge is hardwood flooring. There is carpet elsewhere in the caravan, which I'm surprised about, but in the lounge here it's all hardwood flooring. And we come in and we have a nice table and chairs there. It's very light. I mean, it's not sunny today. It's the first week in August. In actual fact, we've got an amber weather warning for wind. So, but it's very light in here. We have a TV and a unit down there, and here we have the couches, which are in actual fact about the same height as the manual wheelchair, and I've had no problem sliding onto those and off them again. Moving round, of course, we're into the kitchen, and here we have a cupboard with a bin and an area for whatever. The worktop over here is in fact lowered, and as you can see, the sink and the cooker is built into it, so it is lowered too. So I can come up here in my wheelchair to the sink, quite happily do what I need to do. Coming round, we have a more than substantial cooker. I'm on holiday, so I'm not cooking, but if you did want to, you've got no problem sitting in a wheelchair and using the worktop and the cooker. We have some drawers down here, all accessible. I'll have to get someone to get me a glass down and the odd bit of cutlery if I needed to. Some cupboards up there. There's a microwave there. I don't think I'd reach that, but that's not exactly a deal breaker. So that's the kitchen area. Is in as usual with the lounge area. Very roomy though, very roomy. You can easily move around in here in a wheelchair or a scooter. You've got a full-sized fridge and freezer, and there you go. So if you are coming down here and you prefer to cook, you've got no problem with storage, with cooking facilities. I mean, look at that area. That is some area to have as a lounge. In terms of heating, there's a radiator. There's also a radiator over there by the door, and we have had the heating on, and it is extremely good. But we'll talk about that later. So let's move on further down the caravan. Coming down the hall, same thing, no problem with width. You easily get a wheelchair down there, and you'll easily get a scooter down there, even a bigger scooter. This is the first bedroom, and as you can see, we've got sliding doors, and they slide wide enough for you to get a wheelchair in. There's two beds here. Excuse the mess, we've been here a week. There's two beds here. You can get a wheelchair or a scooter between the beds, and the beds are the same height as a wheelchair, so transferring over is no issue. But this is the less adapted bedroom of them all. There's a grab handle on the door there, and like I said, a sliding door. Let's move on down to where I've been sleeping. This is the more adapted bedroom, and it really is very easy to get around. I've got a sliding door again, as you can see, and more than enough width to get through. I'm surprised they left the carpets in the bedrooms, because inevitably they are a bit grubby, and I'm probably partially responsible for some of the dirt. But you can see my scooter there, which I've been charging up. This is where I've been sleeping. I mean, look at the access you have in here. It's huge. Absolutely no problem. You could quite easily get 2 chair users in here. We also have this arrangement, which I think is a very nice touch to have. We put a beam in, and this, look at this. That will slide to each of the beds to give you a hand to get up. You have the drawers, you have a light switch there which will turn your light off, and when you come into the room you have a light switch over there in the corner. You've got more than enough wardrobe space, and it's been lowered so that you could reach it from a wheelchair. It really has been well thought out, I reckon, because it can't have been easy just taking a standard static and making it adaptable. We have hooks on the wall at a lower level, hooks on a higher level, and we've got a radiator, and we've only used the heating once in here. It just got a bit chilly one night. My word, the whole place was like a furnace within minutes. The central heating, the boiler's actually in here. Gone are the days of the old Ascot boilers. Look at that. And I'll tell you, that pumps out some heat. The water's red hot. Be careful with the water. They do put warning signs up. Okay, let's have a look at the bathroom. So that's the sliding door, and more than wide enough to get my wheelchair in. I pulled the blind up because we're a bit the light switch here, when activated, sets the extractor fan off and we get a flicker, so I'm just going to turn that off. So I'm hoping it's going to be light enough for you, but there is a roller blind that comes down there. Starting off with the toilet, we've got a grab rail there. The toilet height is about the same height as the wheelchair, which is ideal, and we have a pull down handle there and a very easy button flush on the top. That window does open as well. Moving round, here we have the shower, and we have another grab rail there and a shower curtain here, but we also have a shower seat which folds up and folds down again. Very sturdy. Another grab rail, and of course it's a wet room, so it's sloping down into the drain there, and you don't have to worry too much about the water when having a shower. I've had a couple of showers here. Tricky but doable. Here we are, the sink, which is lowered, so no problem accessing the sink. Another grab rail there if you're standing. Shaver socket. The water, like I said, there's a warning label there, is red hot. No problem with heated water, heating water, or heat in these caravans. There you've got a nice towel rail, so if you do put the boiler on, you've got a nice heated towel rail there. And once again, lowered hooks. You've got the hooks up there, but you've also got hooks there for people like me in a wheelchair. So that's the bathroom, which is very roomy. You'll have absolutely no problem in manoeuvring a wheelchair around this. Okay, we've come outside now. Here's the front door. Like I say, I'm on my scooter now. Virtually step-free access and more than wide enough. Probably doesn't look like it on camera, but that is more than wide enough for the widest wheelchair or even a big scooter. Now, the good thing about the accessible caravan is you actually get a free veranda, which I don't know what you'd have to hire to get a veranda, but it wouldn't be the standard caravan. But of course, as the ramp comes up, it passes the front door, and because of the materials they were using, it makes this little veranda area. They're not our chairs, they were here before. So it's quite handy, because on a lovely day like today, it's, like I say, the first week of August, we're down in Exmouth and there's a amber wind warning. So there's the English summer for you. Well, let's have a look at this ramp. Now, it's all surrounded. This is, I don't know what you'd call it, plastic, some form of plastic, and it goes all the way down the ramp. The trouble with this ramp is the steepness. Now, I would not go down in a manual wheelchair there forwards. I think I'd be thrown out, because we'll see it in a minute, it gets even steeper as it approaches the ground. So you need, if you're in a manual wheelchair, you need someone that's reasonably strong to get you back up this ramp, because as you can see, there's no grab handles. All you have is this balustrade. So what I've been doing is I've been using my scooter to go down at very slow speed, and it is, I must say, a bit daunting on your own, because there's nothing really to grab onto. In a manual wheelchair without someone behind you, I wouldn't want to do this. They've also very usefully put this lamppost in right at the end of the ramp. Now, as you can see, as we come off the ramp, it gets even steeper, and in a manual wheelchair you would have problems there. Now, I'm just going to pause it, and I'm going to go down the ramp and show you coming up. Right, I'm down off the ramp now, and you get an idea of the steepness of that slope. Like I say, they've also very usefully put this lamppost in the way. Now, with a manual wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to get up that. There's no grab handles. All you've got is this balustrade, this banister to haul yourself up. I'm quite strong in the upper body, but I wouldn't be able to do this. On a scooter, the issue is that I have to come round to this side, and you have to turn the speed up. So let's see how we go on. There we go. Up we go. I'm getting used to it, but it was a bit daunting first time. Okay, I'm going to take you for a little drive round the park, which is huge. They got over 2,000 caravans here, and one of the things that Fair Play Avon do mention in their literature is that this park at Exmouth, Devon Cliffs, and what was the other one? I think it's Perranporth in Cornwall, are not that suitable for scooters and wheelchairs because of the hills. You need to be aware of that, and you'll see as we drive round how hilly it is. And we'll head first down to the beach. So here you see what you're up against hill wise. This, I only just got up this hill from the beach with my scooter, but the hill further up to get back to my caravan, the scooter wouldn't do it. It needed a bigger scooter, which you can hire, but you'll be lucky to find one available. There's a little mobility shop supplies the park, but they're all pretty much booked out. And this is the route down to the beach. You're unlikely to get down onto the beach because of the steep slope from the car park.
You don't advise it?
They certainly don't advise it at Haven, and I certainly wouldn't do it. The scooter wouldn't get back up there, and you'd need a pretty strong person if you were pushing a manual chair. So here we are. They've actually got a lovely bar and cafe down here, which is open till late. The South Beach Cafe, you can see ahead of you. And this is where the beach, which is private to this this camp, but has a very steep slope down. You'll get an idea of how far down you're going to get. But already this is probably half a mile from the caravan. It's that big, this site. And you can see you now have to walk down a path to get to that beach, and you can see the height of the beach. Very steep, that slope. So that's the beach. I'm going to have a quick drive around the main road out of the beach, and you'll see what you're up against in terms of incline. As you can see, we've had a real windy day today. So I'll go over there.
Yes.
So plenty of car parking down there. It's a lovely area for the beach, but getting down to it and getting back from it is a different kettle of fish. So here we go out from the beach, back up to our caravan. This is the first bit of sunshine we've had today, and the winds are easing, so everybody is out.
Bearing in mind it's summer.
Bearing in mind it's the first week of August. So here we are. Here's your first hill. Well, my scooter got up this okay. But that would be hard work pushing a manual wheelchair up here. Some activities for the kids around the corner here. Various stuff. And you can see it's a relentless climb up. It's not too steep, this part. Up ahead is the centre, where they've got various cafes and bars and entertainment. But as far as you can see, left and right is caravans. You can see mothers pushing pushchairs up here. You know, it's a long haul. Now, if we were going back to our caravan, we would be turning up here. Reasonably flat along here, but just wait and see. It's not this one, is it?
Yes, it is.
Is this the steepest one?
Yes.
This is the one I failed on, is it?
Yes.
Our caravan is up this slope. I got halfway up this slope and the scooter wouldn't take it anymore. And you're not even up at the caravan yet. You're only halfway up. Is it up that one?
No, carry on.
So if you make it up that one, bearing in mind this is macing your batteries or your muscles if you're pushing, and then you've got this one to cope with. Our caravan is here, so you can see how high up we are. Can we get out that way?
Should be able to.
That's the pizza man dropping off his pizzas. And of course, going up is one thing, but you've got to be very careful coming down. Very careful. Whether you're on a scooter or pushing someone in a manual chair, or even if you're in a manual chair sorting yourself out. Look at this. Look at this. Be very careful if you're coming here. Very careful. So, a summary of our week here in Haven in the adapted caravan at Exmouth, Devon Cliffs. I think Haven have got the caravan spot on inside. I think they've done very well with the adaptions. I've had no problem once in the caravan, either with the bedroom or the bathroom or the lounge. So I think they've done very well there. I'm surprised they sited it where it is, with 2,000 or so caravans on site. I would think, even though the site is obviously very undulating, I'm sure there must be better sites that they could have put the caravan on and made things easier. But of course you can't have everything. I would have liked to have taken my scooter around the park, but wasn't able to. But we've managed. But we've only managed because we had a car. I think if you came here with no car, I think you'd possibly struggle. But I have found that finding accommodation for a holiday that is adapted is not easy. The industry, I don't think, has invested the money because there isn't enough return on the cost of adaptions, which, you know, in some places would be huge. I spent a lot of time down here waiting outside shops that I couldn't get into, but in order to adapt, to be able to get a wheelchair or a scooter in there, you know, the cost to some of these shops would be immense. So it is what it is. You make the best of everything, and like I say, these caravans, which I presume, I mean, Haven have over 30 sites, so I assume they're elsewhere. We're going to try Norfolk next, which, you know, is flat as a pancake. So hopefully, if I could take this caravan to Norfolk, a lot of problems and issues will be resolved. But we've had a great time down here for a week. We've managed, no disasters. Cost wise, it costs about £1,200 for 7 days, and that's at the height of the season, August. The weather, well, it is what it is with the weather. We've managed, so I would give it a thumbs up down here. But I think that it will be good to find the same caravan sited in a flatter campsite. So that's possibly the only downside.